Welcome back to another episode of Strong Conversations here in the Strong Conversations studio inside the Simpson Strong Tie booth here at the International Builder Show in 2025 in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. I am Sam Marcoux, and I am joined, well, we should call this the Geoff and Tucker show, the Tucker and Geoff show.
Absolutely. Sounds great. Geoff and Tucker, I think.
The Geoff, you're like the Geoff. Yeah, Geoff would like Geoff and Tucker.
For some reason,
alphabetical order.
Alphabetical order. Well, I'm going to let you guys introduce who you are and why you're here and what you do, and that will actually reveal to the audience why you're here. Because you guys kind of have an important role in the International Builder Show even happening here. So if we're going Geoff and Tucker, why don't we have Tucker introduce himself first, and then we will go to Geoff after that.
Well, good afternoon. My name is Tucker Bernard. I'm Executive Director of the NAHB's Leading Suppliers Council, and who are all the suppliers that are exhibiting here. And another part of the program that we have is we have the official show home for the International Builder Show, what the suppliers want to showcase their products in. Pretty much that involves my whole role with the NAHB, and is bringing the suppliers and NAHB people together.
Very good. Thank you, Tucker. Geoff?
Yes, sir. I'm Geoff Cassidy. I'm the Chief Revenue Officer of NAHB. That means I'm responsible for all the non-dues revenue of the association, which includes the Builder Show, as Tucker mentioned, the show homes, the LSC, business development, variety of undertakings or publications that we produce.
Yeah.
So just in a nutshell, it's all things revenue and non-dues.
Well, thank you guys for being here. We were just talking. This is an incredible event. Geoff, you were telling me how many folks total are here in Las Vegas right now, or were registered for this event?
Yeah, for the Builder Show alone, there's over 80,000 people registered. And
Wow.
Then there's the Kitchen and Bath Industry Show, which is co-located with us here in the Las Vegas Convention Center. Another 40,000 people, 40,000 plus people registered. So starting to become kind of a big thing.
Yeah, so roughly 120,000,
Yeah.
give or take. So just
Absolutely.
120,000 friends getting together, talking on the industry. That's incredible. Like I have 4 children, and I can't even get them in the car. Getting 120,000 people here and pulling this off. You know, we were talking off the air. What happens next week when this is all said and done? And I loved your answer. If you could let
there's
everybody-
a lot of horizontal involved.
That might be the title of this episode. There's a lot of horizontal the week after, but I mean, a well-deserved rest, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you have to take a break and decompress after an event like this.
Yeah, we're working already on the 2026 show. We've been working on that for a couple of years already.
Wow.
But we'll take a 3 days off next week before we dive back in and start working on next year.
Yeah.
It's catching up with family.
Yeah. Reintroducing yourself to the family.
Yeah.
This is my name. Hi, I'm Geoff. Yeah, I get that. I get that. So you mentioned 2026, and you're already working on that and have been for years. I would imagine there is a process of sort of knowing what's going to happen a year or two, locations, of course, and all these other things. But when does the heart of, I guess, development for this, is it a 3-month sprint?
No, it's pretty much the whole year.
It is just a year-round.
Yeah, I mean, but we have to go well out in advance, as you said, with respect to the dates. In fact, we have dates set for out to 2039.
Wow.
And
I didn't know that.
We also have to then secure hotel inventory for our room blocks. And in order for that to actually make sense, we have to go out 2 or 3 years in advance of every year's show.
Yeah.
But the actual site visits and things along those lines, they don't begin until typically a month or so after the previous year's show.
Okay.
We have been out to Orlando already to secure evening event venues for the 26th show, only because in Orlando there are fewer options than there are here in Las
Right.
Vegas. And we're in competition not just with Kitchen and Bath Industry Show for evening event venues, but also with you guys, the exhibitors.
Yeah.
Because you're throwing parties after hours. So.
Yeah, no, there is a lot of activity going on.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I have noticed, now I am seeing the activity, as you guys see, we're in this fishbowl of our studio here, where you can see a lot of stuff going on inside our booth. There's a lot of noise going on. We're running tools, which is always fun. But the number one thing that I am hearing from people that are sitting down on this couch and talking to us is I said, what are your goals? What are your goals when you come to a show like this? And the number one thing is we want to reconnect with our clients, reconnect with our friends, reconnect with our peers, and make new connections.
Right.
That seems to be the tie that binds everyone together, that gets all 120,000 people into the room, so to speak.
Yeah.
Is that the goal for you guys on your end, putting this thing on every year?
It is to me. I mean, I think this is my 27th IBS.
Wow.
And over those 27 years, developed so many friendships. You only see them once a year, but you don't forget their names, you don't get their faces, and you do a lot of business with them over the years. So it's a great time to reconnect.
Yeah, we had somebody in here earlier from Zonda, and they said this is our Super Bowl. This is the culmination of everything over the past year, and I love that phrasing, right? Especially now that we're in Las Vegas and they have a football team.
Yeah.
You know, it sort of, right, the Raiders. But but no, I mean it was powerful kind of visual of this is what it is.
I'm happy to report I've heard that before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's really a fun thing to be a part of. I've said a couple of times in the last 2 days, it's fun when it works, and it does seem to be working the last several years, in particular when we came out of COVID. People really started to come back, and we're just so excited about at NAHB, just so excited about the opportunity to create this community, or to provide the platform for the community to gather.
The industry needs this type of stuff because from the industry perspective, a lot of folks that we've been talking to, not only do they want to reconnect, but that allows them to start figuring out how to tackle whatever industry issues are going on, right? Like right now in our neck of the woods, you have labor shortage. You know, that's something that continues to be a struggle for us. Technology is everywhere. I mean, I work for a hardware company and we have software all over the place, you know, and how is that changing the builder world? How is that changing the supply world? Everyone wants to build, you know, a safer, stronger structure, but do it faster and get it, you know, built and sold and move on to the next one. So getting everybody in the room together to do all this, again, it's really, really a lot of organization, and it's something that's not lost on me. Again, who tries to get four kids in the car to go to dinner, and it's like I should get a medal at the end of the night if I made it happen. It's incredible that you guys are able to do this, and not just with this show, but with other events and the LSC and everything like that. I mean, how much of this is a process that's been defined and is now just there versus is it a constant evolution to make the process better?
I'll let Geoff expand on this, but you know, since COVID-19, every business has developed a new business model.
Yeah.
You know, and then with, you know, for them to budget the economy coming into place and the new housing starts, you know, and for Geoff and his crews to put this show together, there's a lot of dynamics that people have no idea what they are or how they come together to make this magic happen.
There's a pretty basic recipe to it, though. You have the trade show floor, and you have education.
Right.
These days, we're usually up to about 120 education sessions. There's variations on the theme every year, of course, with programming and speakers, even delivery method. You know, we try to stay up with the latest methods of learning.
Yeah.
So that's something that we're always paying attention to and trying to deliver on here. Obviously, networking. So just ways of enabling people to get together and make those connections that you talked about before.
Yeah.
But the fundamental recipe is pretty much set every year.
Very cool. So, Tucker, talk to me about the LSC, because that seems to be your wheelhouse here. Can you explain to everybody, you and I were just talking about this right before we went on the air, about how long the organization has been around and been involved with the NAHB. Can you explain to everybody listening to this and watching this right now exactly what it is and what it accomplishes, what the mission of LSC is?
Well, yeah, the mission of the LSC is to bring education, to the builders, because they need their advice on what products they're looking for, and especially when you come into products that aren't working the way they should.
Yeah. And
your new designs, the new design concepts. Like I say, they sponsor NAHB tremendously to fund a lot of their programs, student housing or HBI. Like I said, they're well into the new American home on year-round, such as Simpson Strong Ties. I think Simpson's been in it for 12 different show homes, to showcase all their products and their technology. Even though Simpson stuff is behind the walls, we open up walls to show people how it is, and we videotape it.
Yeah.
There's the magazine portions of it, but the leading suppliers themselves, we always have antitrust lawyers, and I'll say this up front, because nobody's allowed to talk business, set pricing, or do anything like that.
Right.
So we're always sure that everybody stays even that. Because, for example, we have 5 or 6 appliance companies, 3 or 4 plumbing companies. So we're very careful on how we monitor that. But it's a great networking and getting together to support the industry.
Yeah, well, and I'm glad you said that. It is important for people to know, yeah, we do have people in the industry getting together and talking about the industry, but there are rules in place to ensure that everything is on the up and up there. That's great for everybody listening to know. Can you guys talk a little bit about the process of what's new in this space, or what's new for the NAHB in general when it comes to a show like this? Like, what do you guys get excited about? Like, I know from my side, from the manufacturing side, or from the builder side, what they're looking to accomplish or what they've seen. What do you guys, when you walk the floor or you're getting ready to put a show on, is there anything like, I can't wait for this to happen this year because this is new and different? Is it a new theme, or is it?
I probably have a different view or perspective than Geoff does.
Okay.
Because I'm so heavily involved in the New American Home, the official show home, and the International Builder Show. And what a lot of people don't realize is this show home would take a builder 24 months to build.
Wow.
He has 11 months to build it in. It's very labor intensive, by a house by committee. And so the suppliers want to show the latest and greatest products that they have in this house. And so, every year you see, and we're already well into the next year's home, which is under construction now. So we're here, picking up, talking to suppliers, picking up products, because the design's been finished. But there's so much new stuff out, especially on the technology side. Like, for example, the homes now, you can run everything in that house on an app on your phone.
Right.
So it's, sequence it all together, and then the energy efficiencies of the home. It's like very interesting that we had the suppliers reception on Sunday evening. There's about 350 people in this home. And thank goodness it was a warm night, so we had the doors open so the overflow of people could all enjoy the party going on. But Builder had an app on his phone, because I was curious to know what the energy level of the home was. And at that particular time, it was putting energy back into the grid. That's how efficient this home is. So that's what we're all about.
That's really cool.
So
that's really, really cool to hear. What about you, Geoff?
Yeah, I just think in terms of anytime you throw a party, you hope people show up.
Yeah.
In terms of new, again, there's new education, there's new speakers, there's new opening ceremonies, closing concert. We have a different band that brings it all home every Thursday of every show. And you just, again, hope everybody shows up and that they actually have a good time. In addition, we spend so much time, we've talked a little bit about the planning that's involved in this. We spend so much time preparing for this, trying to make it as great an experience as it possibly can be for everybody that comes, despite the enormities of the crowds.
Yeah.
And so seeing that actually working is really innovating. It's fun, to watch the front of the building and see the buses working and no snarl out there, and people getting in and out and doing what they're here to do. And that is really, again, that community thing, to come and see that the industry that you're a part of. And this really gives you a sense of the enormity of the industry that you're a part of. You probably know it, but you really feel it when you come here, and that's a good feeling to be a part of.
It's like being in a beehive, right?
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, Tucker.
On the first International Builder Show you went to, what was your impression?
All right, I'm going to reveal something, and I got camera one right here. This is the first time I have ever been to an International Builder Show.
Welcome.
Thank you, and I'm very impressed. Now, Simpson Strong Tie, I've worked here for 23 years. The roles that I've been in, it wasn't one of the roles where it would make sense for me to be here. I moved over to our builder team about a year ago, and in doing so, here I am. I've been to a lot of different shows. For the most part, I was in training. So I'd go to a lot of training trade shows and stuff like that, which they're fantastic, great floors and everything else. But this is next level stuff. Honestly, that's what I would compare it to, is adjacent industries and how they put something together versus what we're seeing here, and it's night and day.
And although this is your first, obviously we all know this is not Simpson Strong Tie's first.
No.
We've been doing this show for 81 years, and Simpson Strong Tie has been a part of half of that.
Yeah.
The last 40 years you guys have been here, and that has been really cool. So we really appreciate their participation.
It's a huge part of our annual business sort of vision, right?
Yeah.
I can tell you, because I joined this team the week after IBS last year. And we were all in a conference call, the core team that does this every year. And we were starting to talk about this year, right? Much smaller scale than what you gentlemen are talking about, but that's where we started talking about, look, maybe we bring our podcast studio, maybe we do stuff like that. So it's on our radar. And we're not the only ones. So many people here, this is a kind of a crown jewel of their year when it comes to interaction and going everywhere else. So no, we love being a part of this show.
It's truly amazing to see what you all do. I get here the week before, and as I'm going on the exhibit floor and seeing the evolution of these booths that are being set up, some really elaborate things that people are putting together, takes a lot of thought and effort and expense and time, and yet somehow or other it all magically comes together. You look at the show floor on Monday night and you're like, there's no way.
It's not going to happen.
Tuesday morning it's going to be ready, and every year magically it is.
Yeah.
We put down 11 miles of aisle carpet as part of this show.
11 miles.
In and of itself is a gargantuan feat. So, think about that aisle carpet, we can't start putting that down until the aisles are all cleared of freight and things of that nature.
Wow.
So that usually doesn't start until about 7 or 8 o'clock at night, and it has to be done for the show floor to be open at 9 a.m. the next morning.
That's maybe some of the stuff that Tucker was talking about. There's so much that goes into putting a show like this on that people just don't realize.
Yeah, printing badges.
Yes.
In the first 4 hours yesterday, we printed 24,000 badges.
Wow.
That's either people that came here to register, and that's the first time they interacted with us, or that they registered in advance, they just didn't register early enough to get their badge mailed to them. So just in the first 4 hours across 3 registration locations, we printed 24,000 badges.
I love this. I love stats.
Yeah.
I'm like a baseball guy, so stats are huge in baseball.
Yeah.
What other stats do you guys got? I'm putting you on the spot here, but what other stats can you guys give me?
Well, it is the largest exhibit floor in 16 years.
Okay.
The second largest was last year. So, we've grown by 50,000 feet from last year, and we're 29,000 feet better than budget. So revenue-wise, this is generating a lot of revenue for the association. We can talk about that.
Yeah.
And especially in the context of the fact that the association itself pours that revenue back into the industry. That's what we're all about, is to try to advance the industry, to help builders be better at what they do, and to ultimately make more money and be able to have a livelihood doing what they do. So it's all good. It all kind of feeds the ecosystem.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like you talked about making more money, and you're like, okay, great. Well, what do we do with it? Well, we just make the show better year over year. Right?
Yeah.
We had Geoff Shore in here a little bit earlier, and I think he was part of the opening day ceremonies.
Yeah, the opening ceremonies.
Yeah, he was like, I opened for David Spade.
Yeah.
You put that on the resume there. But getting folks like him to be involved and be a part of it, I mean, that's amazing. He's such a resource for builders everywhere in terms of the sales side of what you do.
Right.
And again, just connecting everybody together and doing things like that.
Well, we also, in addition to putting on the trade show, we also have governance meetings for the association. So we're carrying on the business of the industry in conjunction with this trade show. So all the work that we do for advocacy and legislative and regulatory and all of that, codes, et cetera, all of the members are coming together of the association to try to advance the industry in that regard as well.
And that you guys are doing that tomorrow?
It's been going on since Saturday, and it culminates with our Leadership Council meeting on Thursday morning. Then we have a board meeting right after that, and then we turn that room in from a meeting room set, it's a ballroom over at the Westgate, in 3 hours into a concert set, and that's when we have Chris Jansen, who is our closing concert. He's a country music star.
Yeah.
And we'll probably have 3,000 or 4,000 people at that concert. You like numbers? So
I love numbers.
The opening ceremonies yesterday morning with David Spade, we had about 4,500 people attend that.
4,500, wow.
Yeah, so
wow.
There's just been such a great buzz here this week, and that also is so fun to see and be a part of.
I love the fact that the board meeting, the business side gets transformed into the social and party side, right? There's something about that's like almost poetic.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we get to go celebrate another successful event.
Put the exclamation point on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one thing they haven't been able to fix is all the conflicting schedules.
All the schedules? Yeah. Well, there's so much going on, right?
Everybody's got to be at 5 places at once, and it's difficult.
It is challenging. I mean, if there was a way to figure that out, if the three of us collectively can figure out that organization, we could sell this to everybody.
Right.
And that would be that. I do have a couple extra questions for you guys. Yeah. How did you guys get involved with NAHB? How did that come about?
I'll start. I've been with NAHB for 30 years, will be 31 in June. I first started with the Remodelers Council, and I worked there for about 6 years. In 2000, I had the opportunity to move over to the Convention Meetings Group. I had been exposed to that, working on the Remodelers Show, which we used to own and sold a long time ago. And I really found a passionate, a career really in the business of trade shows. I didn't really know anything about them before I was exposed to them at NAHB. Yeah. And I've been with the business of trade shows ever since 2000, and eventually worked my way up to the position I'm in now, where I'm managing the show.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Tucker, how about you?
I come from a different story. I started with NAHB in 1998, and I was semi-retired at the time. And then started a new family, and so what kind of happened is that our lifestyle wasn't going to change, and my wife said, maybe you should get a job. And I'd never heard of NAHB. And I went for an interview, and it was a perfect niche for me with the leading supplier side, the New American Home side, and I couldn't get over what NAHB did for knowledge, for the support systems that they had. And I wish I would have known about NAHB when I was in the corporate structure. Yeah. Because I would have benefited immensely from it. And it was a perfect niche, and I loved the NAHB environment, the whole culture of the NAHB and what they accomplished. So I've been there I have a fun job, and I've been there ever since.
Well, when you find something you like it, 31 years. I've been with Simpson 23, right? This is the right spot for me, the right spot for you, gentlemen. A couple extra questions, and then I'll let you go, because I know you guys are very busy. But these are probably the most important questions, and will make this the strongest of conversations. But you guys know a lot of things. You guys are able to accomplish a lot, so I feel like I'm in good hands. I would like your top recommendations for restaurants in Las Vegas. One each. Do you guys each have a favorite that you would tell if somebody was coming to town for one night and said, I need to have the best meal possible, where are you sending them?
Oh, there are so many good restaurants here off the strip. I normally go off the strip because I like to eat where the locals eat. So, and there's some old traditional restaurants here like the Golden Steer, which is from the Mafia days, and it still has that resemblance. So that is a great place, and it's in a strip mall, so a lot of people really don't know what's there, but the reputation is there. So,
some of my brethren went to Golden Steer the other